Morning.
Morning. Ready for the Dollar Tree Challenge?
Yeah.
It's a $20
20 bucks.
survival Dollar Tree Challenge. They're about to open up. We're gonna head inside and grab as many items as we can for right at about $20. Then we're gonna go set up a survival shelter. And there's two goals. There's a short-term goal, which is to get a 72-hour survival shelter set up, and we'll be judged on that, how good it can be. So I want you guys to comment in the comment section below how good the 72-hour one is, and then kind of extended long-term survival. So like food prep, water purification. And then you guys will judge us on that, like a score of 1 to 10 on the 72-hour, and then a 1 to 10 on the long-term survival. But let's head into the Dollar Tree and grab some stuff, and then we'll go to the land and set up the shelters. All right, so you have to get everything for the survival challenge in the store. You can't use your pocket knife. You can't use anything in your pockets.
No pocket stuff.
No pocket stuff. Let's go. We're getting survival items, not decorations. That's pretty sweet right there. So here's the tool out. There's some lights, some tape, glue. I'm looking for a tarp. So everything here is now $1.25. There's some tarps. Oh, there's even longer rope right there. Don't just be buying what I'm buying. All you got is duct tape.
There's methods here. You can actually do something with a hacksaw.
Get the hacksaw. There's a little baby hacksaw. There's some screwdrivers. See, there's a razor blade. I may go with the razor blade as the knife. You can probably like defend yourself.
It does come with extra blades too. So.
Oh, that's yeah, for long-term survival, that would be a good one. Oh, there's paracord.
Heavy cutting with it.
Like I could just dominate like the 72-hour part of the challenge and just buy snacks and just get snacks.
Sardines, baby.
That's disgusting. You can set your camp up far from my camp. You could cook in this thing. You could purify water in this thing. So you have all your items?
I've got all 15.
Okay, I need to grab one more thing, and I'm trying to find exactly what it is, and then we're out of here. Yeah, I think the tax on the food is a little bit lower, so we were each just under 20 bucks. So we got the $20 survival challenge. Let's head and set up and see what we got. So we are in the side-by-side, and we are hunting us a good survival spot. So we've been driving around looking for one on the property line. Let's see what we can find. So now we're gonna go over our items and see what we collected, and then you guys can judge us at this point on the items themselves. Then you can judge us on our 72-hour setup. How would we survive 3 days? And then you can judge us on our long-term survivability. So 3 scores of 10, and then we'll see who wins at the end. If this video gets 500 likes, we'll do this again and try to spend the night and do some more stealth camping. So this should be good. So right off the bat, we got all of these items for $1.25 each. And I'll start with the basics. So I grabbed 2 tarps, and these are about 4 foot by 5 foot, 4 foot by 6 foot. So this is going to allow me to set up some type of shelter. And if it gets cold, even use one as sort of like a blanket style thing. So I could use it as like a base to keep off the wet grass, and then I can use it as a shelter and then build a more sturdy shelter over time. I've got this pan where I can fill it with water and then boil it over the fire to sanitize water for long-term survivability. And if I happen to set a trap or catch something or even catch a fish or something, I'll be able to cook it in this pan. So I think that's going to be really good right there. I grabbed a root beer. Now hear me out on this one. I grabbed root beer in a 3-liter bottle because it's got a crap ton of sugar. So there's 8 servings at 90 calories a piece. So for the 72-hour thing, I can get this, get some energy while I'm setting up, drink some root beer and feel like, you know, I'm still not necessarily surviving to give me that motivation to set up camp. I feel like it's key to set up camp in the first 72 hours and get everything squared away. Same goes with the fruit rings. I can snack on these. It'll be at a sugar high for 72 hours while I'm setting up camp and looking for other survival things. I got 2 forms of rope, a larger rope, and this one is 40 feet long, and then I got paracord. And the cool thing about paracord, I'll show you guys in a second when I'm setting up, is you can start separating the cords out, and that's where I got this. So I've got some pliers and carabiners, and I'm gonna take these rings and try to make fish hooks out of them and attach it to the thin parts of the paracord and tie it to a stick for a fishing rod. Then I've got cotton balls and Vaseline, and these are gonna serve 2 purposes for survival for me. When you soak the cotton balls in Vaseline, which I'll show you in a second, you can get a great waterproof fire starter in adverse conditions. Also for first aid, if you get a cut or something, I can cover it in Vaseline to keep the dirt out, or I can use the cotton ball to cover up a wound after I've cleaned it, and then wrap it with something that I find like this string to keep stuff out. So this is gonna be my first aid. The knife, I did go with the razor blade. It comes with extra blades. That's kind of self-explanatory. And then I got a bucket, and then I've got dish detergent, the largest thing of dish detergent they have. And this is for hygiene as well as toting water around. I can go to a creek, scoop up water, collect rain with something like this off of a tarp. I can set up the tarp and collect rain, and then I can use that to drink and boil. And I can, excuse me guys, I can use it to clean. So if I get a wound or something, long-term survival, I can wash the pan, keep things sanitary. This stuff should literally last me like 2 years of cleanliness and hygiene. So that are my items. Let's take a look at Brett's.
All right, so here's what I picked up. We were kind of limited on our choices, so a lot of it's going to be the same. I went with the hacksaw. My theory there is if I do have to cut any type of limbs or anything, it's probably going to go through it a little bit easier than this razor blade. I did pick up the razor blade, cutting cord. If I do get any type of fish or anything, that's going to help me skin it out. Went with trash bags. Waterproof, can make a makeshift mattress if you fill it with leaves. Comfortable bedding.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Went with the long lighter. I don't want to burn my fingers. 2 rolls of the heavy duty tape. Can never have enough duct tape. Also got 2 of the 40-foot cordage here. That's going to be pretty important in setting up my shelter. As far as shelter, I went with 2 of the 48 by 72 inch tarps. See what I can come up with. Got the same bacon pan. Like he said, it's going to be great for boiling water. Any food you catch, be set with that. Got the important stuff. Can't be out in the woods without this.
That is going to be good for the 72-hour part.
It only takes grabbing the wrong leaf once. Went with the gallon of water because hydration is key. With the cooler temperatures, this should last well over the 72 hours. And I got this for the sole purpose of putting the water out of this bottle into here so that I can then turn this into a minnow / crawfish trap. And that's where the sardines come in play. They're going to be my bait for the minnow trap.
Oh, you hustled me. I thought you were eating sardines. Oh, that's a good idea. Minnow trap. I didn't even think about that. That is why we do these challenges, to learn new stuff. I'll let you pick your spot. You going over there? Yeah. Okay. I'll probably set up over here somewhere, and we'll see how it goes. We'll catch up with you guys after we set up our survival shelters. Oh, yeah. That cuts that rope pretty good. So I'm definitely making progress on mine, and I'm gonna head over here to Brett's camp. Are you using your mini hacksaw?
Heck yeah, getting her done, dude.
That's pretty cool. So Brett is setting up his shelter over here. and you are chopping away with that little mini hacksaw. So I've got most of my shelter set up and I've gathered some rocks and cleared a spot right here. Now I'm gonna try to work on my fishing line and fishing hook, and then we'll check with Brett, see how he's doing. That's working out surprisingly well. I hope it's tough enough to hold a fish. Again, smash that like button if you guys want to see us go and do an overnight challenge, and we'll actually go fishing and stuff and try some of this out. So when you split off the end of a paracord, you actually cut off that, and then you can get all of these lines, which are really still very strong. This is what we're gonna make our fishing line out of. So there's mine. We're still setting up, but I did want to touch base. Oh, you are making, that is really cool. You're making stakes?
Yeah, I'm pretty long, so I figured 8 feet would be enough. Is it pretty? Not at all. Is it waterproof? Potentially.
Potentially. It's looking good. It's looking really good. So what are you about to start doing now?
All right, so I'm going to start my minnow slash crawdad trap water bottle. Hydration's key. I'm just going to cut right along through here. I'm going to invert this top. Get rid of that. Cap off.
That is such a good idea.
Oh. There you go. I'm going to poke some holes in the back of it to let water flow through it.
So Brett is filling trash bags with leaves. I've got a little mini fire ring. I'm going to try to show you guys the cotton ball and Vaseline trick. It makes a great little waterproof fire starter. So you get your cotton ball and you'll cover it in Vaseline. The cotton ball was really easy to ignite with the fire, and the actually petroleum jelly itself acts as a fuel and a water sealant and a waterproof. So what you'll do is you'll coat the cotton ball and stash them to the side. I'm only going to do a couple and then save the rest of the petroleum jelly and the cotton balls for long-term survival, again for first aid. So these little Scripto lighters have been working pretty good. I grabbed 2 of them in the pack, but the idea would be you don't want to use them to start a fire long term. What you want to do is, again, cover this in petroleum jelly, set that there, and then just a simple spark, and they immediately go up and start burning really well. The petroleum jelly acts like wax in a candle in a fuel and slowly burns, and you can start putting some very fine kindling on here, and it works out surprisingly well. That way you don't have to waste the lighter long term, so you can use it for that long-term survival. So I'm gonna build up a small fire, and then we may try boiling some water off of that pan and see how it does. But I just wanted to show you guys that trick real quick. Also, be very careful when you're setting up fires. We've cleared off most of the leaves. I'm gonna start grabbing a lot of these leaves and just throwing them in that are around here. And then we've got some water right here that we can put this out if we need to. But so far, guys, so good. This is pretty awesome, a fun little challenge. Gonna keep that fire going as well as show you guys what Brett is doing. So explain what you're doing.
So all I'm doing is filling up these trash bags with leaves. What's that gonna do is gonna provide me a little bit of elevation off the ground, a little bit more comfort than just laying on the hard dirt, and a little bit of insulation from the cold ground.
That fire is doing incredibly well, and that's probably about as big as I'm going to build it. We'll let the coals die down and try out that pan in a second. Luxury. I'm not gonna lie, your shelter is pretty awesome. Get whacked. Well, there you go. So the coals are getting really good, and what I'm doing is building a retaining wall with these rocks right around here. I'm also building a flat top to put the pan on top of from the shelter to boil some water. Now, if I was truly going to be staying out here long term, I would go ahead and collect all of the rocks outside of some of these fields and through these trails right here and build up a massive retaining wall to direct that heat back towards my shelter. Brett is now constructing his fire ring and doing it in the proper fashion. Since my man does not have any cotton balls and Vaseline, it's very key that he gathers kindling. Oh, you struggling a little with your lighter?
I couldn't see the flame.
Okay.
I think I have a flame. The sun's right on it, so I can't tell.
And you got it going pretty good. There we go. Got to utilize your trash. The first thing is, we've already talked about it, is the root beer and the cereal is going to last me 72 hours easy. This is going to get me through comfortably. You don't really need to eat. You do need to drink. So it's not going to keep me like super hydrated, but like I can chillax by the fire and comfortably survive 72 hours. If it rains, I've got the shelter set up, and I also have my toolkit. So I got these 2 lighters, and they've got a flint, like Brett said, even if the fluid leaks out. Oh, there goes a wolf spider. Watch out. So those are going to be really good. I also kept 1 key ring and different things to make fish hooks. And what you're looking at right here is actually one of my fish hooks. It is definitely not finished. Don't judge me too much, but you can mold these in however you want with those pliers that I grabbed. And then that paracord string does an amazing job. And here is my fishing pole. So I can catch me some fish. And again, we'll try to do that another time. I also did, for like long-term survival, if I'm foraging for food and things like that, I made myself a mini fishing rod hook and set up that I can slide in my pocket, so wherever I go I can bring this in case I find a body of water. I've also got a ton of paracord left, extra razor blades, and I saved a lot of that string, and again, both of those lighters. Like we talked about earlier, I've got all the cotton balls and Vaseline for first aid, and then the soap and bucket to wash my hands for hygiene. Kind of hard to show you guys right here, but you could easily walk down to the creek about 300 yards, tote some water back up and boil it, and that's what I want to show you guys next. So let's take a look at that. So I've got a little water in here, and I've got this set up in a way to where it stays pretty level, but we can start cooking over this part of the fire. So you guys can see we are boiling the water, and it is working out incredibly well. Why vote for me? This is the part where I convince you to vote for me instead of Brett. 1, I've got a fishing rod and a portable fishing rod, as well as extra tools, good lighters, and great fire starters, as well as first aid that's gonna last me a long time. Not only that, for 72 hours, I'm gonna be snacking and drinking like a king with root beer and Fruit Loops, and I can boil in water if I get it, and I can do a lot of other things like catch and cook crickets that Brett caught for me. So like, it's pretty good. Vote for me. But let's go check out Brett's shelter. All right, let's see it. How comfortable is that in there?
Well, it beats.
That is actually pretty awesome.
It's no 5-star room or nothing like that, but I could sleep here a night or 6.
I like it. I really like it. So I'm not gonna lie, you definitely have me beat when it comes to sleeping comfort.
Why would you vote for me? Well, it's not obvious. I have a mattress. I have almost immediate food, given that there are crawdads and minnows in the local stream. And I packed the essentials. Also, got water instead of some lame root beer, so I'm actually going to be hydrated throughout this trip. I hate no root beer. Root beer's good.
I got it. So this is the part where you go vote. This is the part where you tell us what you think. So what I want you guys to do is go in the comment section below, write Brett, and then the 3 scores out of 10. So his supplies, how he executed his supplies, short-term survival, and then 1 out of 10 for long-term survival. And I'm Brian, so you can put Brian, and then my supplies, short-term survival, long-term survival. So you can do, you know, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for me, like 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10 for Brett, and then we'll add everything up and we'll see. I can't wait to do this again. It's been a fun challenge. The camps are actually really awesome. I'm surprised how well $20, even with the inflated prices at the Dollar Tree, did. We're definitely beginning doing this again. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, what else you want to see on this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.
Fruit Loops are a good choice.